Hello, this is Ron Bratt, and I am the founder and owner of Capital Debate. I want to thank all the parents and students that are here for our orientation this evening. We are now completing our 8th week of summer debate camp, and I have to tell you, it has been an absolutely terrific summer. The students have been engaging, the staff have been very interactive, and I have to tell you, the presentations at the end of the week on Parent Showcase Day have been absolutely amazing. So we're very excited about the summer and everything that's been accomplished up till now. Today, I want to provide you a step-by-step guide to set you up for success on Monday. So let's go ahead and get started. I first want to introduce you to a little bit about our organization. Our organization's mission is to help youth find their voice so that they can effectuate change in their lives, in their community, in the world around them. We want to create powerful advocates that when they see problems in their lives, they can speak up. And when they see problems in their community, they can step up. And when they see problems in the world, they can speak up. So everyone's in the right place here today. Parents, this is one of the best investments that you can make in your child's education. I mean, time and time again, research has found that students that have this public speaking and debate skills, they get into the top colleges, they get scholarships, they get into the top graduate schools, they get the top jobs, and they wind up being more successful overall in life. The students, you are in the right place. I can assure you, after 40 years of being in this activity, seeing my peers, seeing my students being the CEOs of major companies, seeing them on TV, seeing politicians in high offices, doctors, scientists, engineers, judges, it's been absolutely incredible evidence of the success of public speaking and debate. You are on the road to success in life, and you are in the right place. But I want to let everyone know about the staff that we have here in Capital Debate that are dedicated to making sure that you have an amazing week. We're here to support you. We're here all the time. So let's go ahead and introduce you. Well, let's start with myself. I founded this company in 2006. But let me go back a little bit. Let me tell you how I got my start in debate. I was probably the age of many of you students out there. I was in 6th grade, and my social studies teacher, Mr. Chris, came up to me and said, "Ron, you're going to play Jimmy Carter in the 1976 presidential debates against Gerald Ford." I didn't really have much choice. I was a little bit nervous because I never debated before. I didn't have Capital Debate. I didn't have any classes. But I started working, I started researching, and I did it. And I have to tell you, it was, I fell in love with it right from the beginning. All the research that was involved, and the creativity, and being able to catch the opponents off guard, and just seeing how much all your hard work can pay off and making a difference in big issues. And I couldn't get enough. When I was in middle school, I volunteered for anyone who asked that wanted to be involved in debate. I remember debating the capital punishment, debating abortion, debating solar power back in those days. And then my high school team came down to the middle school, and they put on a demonstration debate on nuclear energy. And I was just like, I got to do this. And I joined in high school. I did it all 4 years in high school. And then I got a scholarship to debate in college, and debated in college for 4 years. I won 2 national championships as a debater. I went on to receive my master's while coaching my alma mater, George Mason University, for several more years, and then went on to law school. I practiced law for several years. I defended doctors, but I returned back to my initial love, and that is coaching debate and teaching students. And I became a professor at Catholic University of America, and I was hired to start their speech and debate program. And I taught in the undergraduate program, and I taught in law school, and I coached for 7 years. And And in those 7 years, it was an exciting run. We won 5 national championships. We were ranked by the NDT #1 in the United States in 2001, above all the Ivy Leagues, Harvard, Dartmouth, Yale, all those schools that had powerhouse debate teams. But you know, in my heart, I felt like I wasn't reaching enough students because I saw the power of public speaking and debate and how much it made a difference not only in my life, but the lives of the students that I taught and my friends and my peers. And so that's why I founded Capital Debate in 2006. And the 14 years that I've been running this organization, I've seen thousands of students come through our doors. And of those students, I've seen so many go on to the college of their dreams, Stanford, Harvard, Penn, Dartmouth. They went on to law schools and medical schools and masters in engineering programs. They graduated with high accolades, some working for Google, some are working for Facebook, some went on to become lawyers and doctors. So you're in the right place, and there's so much excitement ahead for you. And I can't do any of this without the amazing people that we surround ourselves in this organization. Immediately to my right, I know that people have spoken with Brian. He's the Director of Student Services, and he's probably the one who signed you up, and he'll speak a little bit later on, and I'll get a chance to introduce him. Next to Brian is Victor Gazio. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Capital Debate, and he's the one who makes sure all the operations go smoothly. Next to him is Nancy Gers. She's in charge of logistics. She makes sure all the supplies, everything gets where it needs to be. She's going to be the one who makes sure you get all your certificates at the end of the program. So below that, on the bottom row, we're going to have Felipe Gazio. He is the one who's going to absolutely make sure you're set up for success, that your internet's okay, that your webcam's okay, that your microphone's okay. It's going to help you troubleshoot so that all you have to worry about is learning public speaking and debate next week. You don't have to worry about the technology. He's going to go through all that today, and he's going to be here for you next week. I'll introduce him real shortly. Next to him is John Gibson. John is actually the head of our human resources, and he plays a really critical role. John is our gatekeeper. He is the one that makes sure that the people that we hire, not only are they competent, but they have incredible character and they're here for the right reason. They want to make a difference in the lives of students, and he's done an incredible job. And you'll see the type of people that he hired in a moment. Next to him is Kendall Reed. Kendall's in with customer service. She'll be the one if you have any problems. She'll probably be the one who answers the phone in the morning, in the afternoon, helping you get in. Amelia Peck is in the background. She's making sure all your Google Classrooms are set up, your GoToWebinar accounts are set up, that you have, you know, everything ready to go for Monday, and you're all set up for success during the week. So this is our crew. I got to tell you, they are 150% dedicated to your success. We are here to make sure that you have a great experience. But the people that really are on the front lines are our educators. And I want you to listen really carefully to the quality of people that we have. And I promise parents that we bring people to the students that have many years of teaching and debate experience. So let's go ahead and go ahead and take a look at this. Let me go ahead and start with the first one is Boka. Boka is from Serbia. She was the head coach of Serbia's debate team. She's a university professor in logic and philosophy. She grew up in war-torn Serbia. And here's what's amazing. She learned that public speaking and debate was her way out, was her way to make better for her life, and it really made a difference. And she is now spending the rest of her life giving back, making sure that other people have the opportunities to speak like she did. Next, under her is Nick Mirza. Nick was named the College Cross-Examination and Debate Association All-American Team. He's been coaching for many years, American Heritage. We're really lucky to have him. Below is Stan Austin. He's one of our coaches for our club debate league. He's been teaching for over 10 years. and he's been using debate as a tool in his classrooms to teach students. On the next is Jonathan Savoy. You know, Jonathan was the 2015 South Carolina State Debate Champion. He's won a lot of accolades. He's been highly recognized by the National Speech and Debate Association, and he is a teacher of public speaking at Bob Jones University. Then we have Dr. Carrie Morowski. She got her PhD in communication at Texas A&M. She was named 3 times one teacher award at Texas A&M. She's been coaching speech and debate for 6 years. Terry Robinson, been coaching debate and teaching for over 40 years, brings a tremendous amount of experience to our organization. Now, she says she's retired, but watching her over the last month or so, it doesn't look like it. But we're so lucky to have her. PJ Samorian, he is the director of forensic speech and debate at American Heritage. He's been coaching state champions, national champions for over 30 years. He is one of the most highly recognized coaches by the National Speech and Debate Association. He's a triple diamond coach by the National Speech and Debate Association, one of the highest accolades. We're really fortunate to have him, and he's going to bring a lot to the students. Debbie Hiren, also, look at all this experience. She has over 30 years of coaching debate and teaching, and like Terry, she says she's retired, but I say far from it. Haley Cruz has been teaching for many years in New Jersey, and now she has a unique role of counseling students and guiding them, and she's been a big asset in the classroom. Paul Neri, before we hired him, after he graduated, he was teaching debate in English in Korea for 3 years, came to the States, University of Wyoming, hired him up. He is the head coach there, and just he's been involved in speech and debate for many years. Chris Ahern, 25-year plus teacher at Clearview. What's amazing about him is he really uses speech and debate in all his social studies classes as a tool for students to be able to learn their materials. And he's also one of our debate coaches. Under him, Chuck McCarthy, another 25+ year veteran on our crew, has been teaching for many years, has been teaching debate for many years. He's the director of our debate club leagues. And it keeps going. Next, running our public forum program, Stan Banks, been teaching over 20 years, a very successful coach at West Orange High School in Orlando, Florida. I think next we have our instructor assistants. Now, the senior instructors, they run the class. All right, so they're in charge. They're going to do the lessons. They're the ones with tons of pedagogical experience, but they need to have what we call our instructor assistants. These are recent college graduates, or they've been in, or they're in college. Many of them were part of our organization. They come with very high character, but they're the front line. They're the ones who are going to be helping the students with their speeches, with researching, with writing, giving them feedback, giving them extra help. And they're just an amazing crew. Hope Arnold, you know, she started with us in 3rd grade. You know, and she went to our camp in 4th grade and then in 5th grade. And then her father was one of our instructors. So she came along for the next 6 years as his assistant. So 8 years. And then while she was in Duquesne, she helped us for another 4 years. And now she's a graduate and she's been teaching with us all summer. Josh Bratt, debater for 6 years, nationally ranked as a student at James Madison University. Nicole Sandoval debated for 4 years in high school, now is debating at Florida State. Oliver Chu going to Stanford next year, one of our debaters on our team, extraordinarily successful, nationally ranked, was in the top 20 in the United States. Neve Harrop is also a very successful debater, attended the University of Florida. And last but not least is Selma. Selma is a student at American University. She debated in Lakeland, New York, and won many awards while she was doing that. She's been also teaching with us for most of the summer. The last thing I want to talk about before I move on to our others in the program is I want to look at the schedule. Now, in our schedule, you're going to notice that there are 5 1-hour blocks. 3 of them are dedicated to public speaking and debate lessons. Now, when I say lessons, they aren't going to be longer than 10 or 15 minutes, because our philosophy is you learn by doing. You get involved and you start applying. If we teach you how to do cross-examination, you're going to be doing cross-examination questions for the next 45 minutes, because we believe learning by doing. But then we have 1 hour that's completely dedicated to team building. And we also do leadership. Our philosophy at Capital Debate is we're not giving you a toolbox of tricks to be great debaters or great public speakers. Our job is to create leaders. And we believe in creating high character advocates, strong advocates, powerful advocates. And that means you need what we call the 5 C's. You got to be able to collaborate with others to get to yes. You got to build a community so people are working together. You need to be able to have conflict resolution. You need to have high character, because people want to follow people that they believe in. And so that's a huge part of any Capital Debate program that we ever run, is having that team building. And then we have an entire hour that is 100% always dedicated to speaking, that you're going to get up and present speeches. Let me go ahead and introduce to you our one and only Felipe Gazio, and he's going to go through all our technology requirements. Felipe, go ahead and take over.
How you doing, guys? My name is Felipe Gazio. I've been with the organization for almost 4 years now. I'm very excited to be here. We've been doing this for many weeks so far. We've been helping out students every day, and I would like to talk a little bit about uh, our tech requirements. So let me share my screen here, and here we go. So a little bit of the tech requirements. You need a laptop computer. Of course, this is an online program. You need at least a laptop computer or a PC. It has to be either Windows or Mac. Google Chromebook will not work with our system, unfortunately, or any Linux machines. I know Linux are pretty rare, but some people still use them. But no Chromebook will work with our system, unfortunately. If you're using a desktop computer, make sure your webcam, your microphone, and your speakers are working. And also make sure you have a good internet connection. Any broadband connection will suffice. So let me just go ahead here. Let me go to my next slide. On my next slide, a little bit of about tech best practices for you guys. You want to reduce your bandwidth usage during class time. Whatever you can do to reduce that bandwidth, it will help the overall classroom experience tremendously. Yeah, I know nowadays that we have many people in our house using mobile devices, iPads, and computers. So if you have your if your students having class, just try to keep it. Though I know we stream Netflix and we watch videos on YouTube, that could really hurt the student's experience while he or she's having class. So try to reduce the bandwidth a little bit during class time, and they will have a much better experience. If you're also connected to the Wi-Fi, make sure you stay close to the router. Your internet might be very fast, but if your Wi-Fi signal is slow, the class will lag, and your student will have issues speaking, seeing, hearing, or being heard. Make sure you also close any background applications that might be eating up your bandwidth. For those of you that might not be so tech savvy, there are some applications that might be running on the background of your machine that could be using your internet without you knowing. So we're gonna go over that a little bit more when I talk a little bit about the tech trial. Make sure also that you're signed out of any other accounts that's not your Capital Debate account. That tends to create issues, especially when the students are trying to join their Google Classroom. I know Google allows you to be signed into multiple accounts, but sometimes when they try to join their Google Classroom or their email and whatnot, they have issues because normally Google always bounces them back to the original account that was signed in that browser. So that's just good practice. Also limit the amount of windows that you have open in your browser, especially if you use Google Chrome. Google Chrome uses a lot of system memory, and it might hurt your class experience. So to talk a little bit about the tech trial. Tech trial is going to be happening tomorrow on Thursday, July 23rd. It's going to be from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be sending out the tech trial links to your email pretty soon. So we're going to be going over connection problems, camera audio not showing, problems that you might be having with your Google account, things like my password is not working and it's not letting me join, or it's asking me for a code, or anything else that you might need. Your computer might be running slow and you don't know why. So make sure you attend that tech trial tomorrow. It's going to be open for from 12 to 3. So anytime between 12 to 3, your student is more than welcome to join, just to troubleshoot and go everything that might potentially hurt him or her on Monday when class starts. So we don't want them wasting any time when Monday comes. We want them to come in on Monday straight to class and just have a great experience. So that's why we always try to do this tech trial ahead of time, just to make sure that we get all the issues, the technical issues, computer, audio, mic, all those things out of the way. So when Monday comes, they can have a nice experience. Next slide here. I'm going to go over 5 steps before Monday. So number 1, just add your Capital Debate email to your Google account. Step number 1. Step number 2, accept the invitation from your Capital Debate email account to the technology trial. The invitation will be sent out to your students' Capital Debate email. Brian's going to go over a little bit more about that, but every student will have a Capital Debate email. It's still a Gmail account, but it'll say @capitaldebate.com. And in that email, they will see an invitation to their Google Classroom and also an invitation for the tech trial. So make sure you be on the lookout for that email. Attend the Capital Debate Tech trial, as I said before. Accept the invitation to your Google Classroom on that email, and the link to your GoToWebinar is going to be listed in your Google Classroom account. The tech trial will be held in GoToWebinar, which is the platform that we use for the students to have class. And inside your students' Google Classroom, I'm going to post a link to the GoToWebinar, which is the tech trial, and they will join that way. So if they're able to get into their Google Classroom, they will be able to get into the GoToWebinar. And it's pretty straightforward. It's just a link. All they have to do is just click on it, and they should be good to go. And for our next slide, I want to call Brian Fish. Brian, are you here, Brian? He's going to go over a little bit about the Google platform that we use. And hey, Brian.
Awesome.
Yes.
Hey, Felipe. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Brian.
Absolutely. So my name is Brian Fish, as Brana introduced me in the earlier slides. I'm the director of our Student Services Department here for Capital Debate, and I've been with the organization now going on my 5th year in February. I've had an amazing time with Capital Debate over these past, almost 5 years, watching the students grow summer after summer, seeing those returning to us and continuing their growth, and to really receive the same type of skill sets and outgoingness that, I received in my 4 years of high school debate. So it's amazing to be able to watch, the next generation coming up and going through the same process and learning these same skills and really developing this sense of confidence, this amazing new feeling that many of our students might not have received without working through this program. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the platform that the students are going to be using to log into their class each day, how they're going to view it, what they're going to use, just to go over everything to make sure everybody's familiarized with the system so we're ready for Monday. So as Felipe mentioned, all of our students are going to be receiving a Capital Debate email. So this evening after the orientation, we're going to be sending out an email to all of our families, and that email is going to contain the students' Capital Debate email, their password to log in, and any next steps needed to be prepared for Monday. So this evening, parents, in your email, you will be receiving an email from Capital Debate with that information. So please keep an eye out for that. And as I mentioned, we use Gmail to log in through this email service. So you do want to make sure, as Felipe said, to please log out of any other Gmail account that you're signed into before signing into your Capital Debate account. We find that when students are signed into multiple email accounts, when they go to join their Google Classroom, it's always going to default back to their primary email or their personal email. So again, we do ask that all students please log out of their Gmail accounts before logging into their Capital Debate emails. And if we want to move on to the Google Classroom here, we can talk a little bit about the portal that students are going to log into each day. So Google Classroom is, I like to say, it's kind of like a Facebook wall. You'll see on your Google Classroom, you're going to have a main stream is what it's called. And the stream is going to be where everything is posted, where your class link is posted, if you have to ask the instructor a question, if the students are asking the other kids questions in class, everything is posted right to this stream. So this is always going to be where you log into each and every day to join your class. You'll see as well, you're going to have something called classwork, and classwork is going to show you all of the assignments that have been assigned to you. It'll show assignments that were due in the past, assignments that are due in the future, and assignments that are due today. So please keep an eye on the classwork section. People you're going to see is going to be all of the other individuals that are a part of this Google Classroom, the instructor as well as the students. And the people view is going to give you the ability to email everybody individually. So if you wanted to send one of your classmates an email to their Capital Debate email address, there'll be a link right next to their name that you can click to email them directly, as well as the instructor. So parents, if you need to communicate with the instructor for anything, the student does have the instructor's email address inside the Google Classroom. And students, please feel free to email your instructors. They're here to help and support you. It's not just the class time that we have. If you have a question after class, go ahead and send them an email. We're here for you. And then let's go over Google Documents. So Google Documents is what we use to work on all of our materials. The reason why we love Google Documents is not because how easily it, works with Google Classroom, but really because of the, multitasking and collaboration features that this has. And what I mean by these collaboration features is that this is a living real-time document. So while your son is typing away on the computer, his debate partner is also working on their work, and she's typing away, making sure that she's adding her section. But it's also great for the instructor to provide live feedback for the students as well. So as they're typing through their document, the instructor can go in and highlight and make comments to it. It's easily shared. You don't have to save the file, attach it to an email and send it. It's a quick URL link that you can share it with. So we really love Google Documents. If you know how to use Microsoft Word, if you've ever used it in the past, you know how to use Google Docs. It's very simple, very easy to use. All right, now GoToWebinar. As Felipe mentioned, this is our video platform. So just like we're using today, your students are going to have a similar view. They're all going to be upgraded to what we call panelists for this GoToWebinar. So they're going to have a little bit more control than what you have right now as an attendee to the webinar, and we'll go over what those controls are here in a second. But this is an example of the email that students and parents are going to be receiving regarding these presentations. So for students, you're going to see something like this every single day for your classes to join, as well as what we call our breakout rooms, which is an extra classroom setting that we have in case we need to divide the class into smaller classrooms. And parents, you're going to be receiving this type of invitation when you register for our showcases on the last day of class. So it's very simple. You'll get this email, you'll click Join Webinar. It's just that easy. You can also utilize below if for any reason your speakers aren't working in your computer and you need to join audio through your phone, you have the ability to do all of that right below. All right, so now this is the GoToWebinar control panel interface. So students, this is what you're going to see on a daily basis while you're in your class. And I just wanted to go over 5 quick features on here, just so everybody's aware of these simple functions. One is going to be your microphone. Easy, unmute it and mute it. You click it, it's green, you're on. You click it, it's red, you're on mute. Two is going to be your web camera. You'll see how it's gray right now. That means your web camera is not turned on. If you click it and it's green, that means your web camera is turned on. Three is going to be screen sharing. So if for any reason during class or any need that you have, you need to share your screen with the rest of the class, the third button below will allow you to share the whole window, just a specific tab that you have in your browser, or your full desktop. So that's what you'll use in regards to screen sharing. Number four is going to be your camera preferences. So if you have a built-in web camera, but you really like using your external web camera because the video is a lot better, you can change your web cameras through there. You can also adjust any preferences that you need to through your web camera as well. Five is going to be the audio sources for both your for both your microphone and your speakers. So you'll see on the microphone side the ability to change your microphone. Again, if you wanted to move to a external microphone rather than a built-in microphone. And you can do the same thing with the speakers as well, changing it from your desktop speakers to your headsets. But you'll see as you're talking, the microphone level will move up. That means your microphone's working great. And then also your speakers, as you're hearing audio through the classroom, you'll see that speaker portion move up, which means your speakers are working great and receiving audio. So for the next portion here, I wanted to bring up Amelia Peck. She's going to go ahead and present the decorum slide here for us today. So Amelia, if you want to come on camera, and the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. So hi, everyone. My name is Amelia Peck, and I have a support role this summer. So I'm setting up Google Classrooms, helping to send emails, setting up GoToWebinar, and kind of doing all the logistics behind making sure your classes run smoothly and everything is easily set up for your students. This is my fourth summer working with Capital after being a student of Capital for most, if not all, of high school. So I'm very excited to be working with everyone this summer and seeing how really well the online programs have been running and how students are enjoying them just as much, if not more, as in-person camp. So that being said, I want to talk a little bit about decorum to make sure that your students get the most out of their camp. So in terms of decorum, there's a few very important things to make sure that you're doing during the week. The first is making sure that your cameras are on at all times so we can make sure the students are interacting, so the students can get real feedback on their speeches. So on their presentation, on their posture, all of the real things that we would talk about in camp in terms of physical presentation. Secondly, we want to make sure that students don't share their personal emails. So we want to make sure that everyone is communicating through their Capital Debate emails, to make sure that they're able to get in touch with each other and to make sure that everything is smooth and running well. And the last important thing is the environment. So we want to make sure students are in a quiet environment where they can hear the instructors, where there isn't a lot of background noise that will be disruptive to class. We also highly recommend that students sit at a desk or table, so not on the bed, not on the floor, just like they were in a real class or at a real camp. And then we also want to make sure that as they're sitting at their desk, as they're in class, they have good surroundings. So we want to make sure that they have good lighting, there aren't disruptive surroundings, siblings, pets, anything else. And we also want to make sure there's nothing inappropriate. So inappropriate posters, inappropriate dress, anything like that. The same rules as there are in real life camp still apply, even though now it's just on an online format. And then lastly, appearance and dress code. We want to make sure that students are dressed appropriately, that they are coming every day prepared to learn and to get the most out of their experience at camp. So with that, I will turn it over to Ron again, who will talk a little bit more about the different types of camp and what each different type of camp will focus on in the upcoming week.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Brett, can you go ahead and, Felipe, and show the, if you don't mind, go ahead and show the PowerPoint?
No problem. I can do that.
Outstanding. So what I want to do now is have an opportunity to go through each of the programs that are going to be offered this week, so you kind of have a really good idea about what to expect. Let's just look first at the public speaking programs. Now, this program is for the 9 and 10-year-old students. Week 1, they are going to focus on presentation. So when we talk about presentation, they're going to look at we want to look at making sure that they articulate the words, that they're not monotone, that they can project their voice. We're also going to look at their body language. Are they able to have eye contact, hand gestures, watching their body movement, everything that comes into a polished presentation. After the presentation week, and at the end they're going to be able to do a declamation speech where they do a famous speech in history. So week 2 is now the writing program. And in the writing program, there's going to be 3 elements to this. That we're going to first teach them how to do an amazing introduction, and that means that they have to catch their audience's attention. And we believe that the credibility of a speaker is determined in the first 3 to 5 seconds of the speech, so that they have to really have something. They have to have a hook. They have to have something to grab the audience's attention, make the audience really want to listen to the speech. And then we're going to teach them how to preview the main points. And after previewing the main points, they're going to go through each one of the elements of the speech, and that becomes the body. And so every main point is an argument that is backed by supporting materials. We teach them how to use evidence throughout history, empirical examples, analogies. Then comes the conclusion. It has to be memorable. It has to be able to tie everything back together again. And then they're going to give an informative speech. So week 1 is presentation for the 9 and 10-year-olds. Week 2 is then is going to be focused on writing a speech, and then they're going to deliver an informative speech. Now we move on to the 11 to 17-year-olds in Debate 101. And in that program combines, really in the first week, Public Speaking Debate 101 combines Public Speaking 101 and 102. It's more accelerated, so we can cover it all in 1 week. Everything I just went through, the presentation and writing a speech, but it's more debate because they do a persuasive speech at the end of the week. At the end of that week of debate, they'll go a persuasive speech, and that'll feed perfectly into now Debate 201. So a lot of you are going to be in public speaking in Debate 101, and that is a combination of those 2 public speaking courses. And then Debate 201, then you jump into debate, and you're going to construct a case on the resolution. You're going to learn how to write refutation briefs, deliver a powerful closing to an audience. You're going to learn cross-examination, and then at the end of the week, you're going to participate in a full debate. Now, 301 and 401 follow this 201, and basically you debate all week. There's some advanced lessons, but basically you take the topic, and the topic that you're going to be debating in all of our camps is going to be the government regulations on social media companies does more good than harm. So should the government place regulations on Facebook, on Twitter, or is Facebook and Twitter and the other social media companies, can they police themselves? Do we want Big Brother or government getting involved? So it's been a really interesting debate over these weeks, but 301 and 401 go beyond that, and we basically debate all week. All right, so that's our debate program. The next program that we offer is going to be our public forum program, and that's run by Stan Banks. So this program is for competitive debaters. So if your high school has a debate team and you want to get ready to be, you either want to move to varsity or you want to be on your team next year, this is the program for you. And we basically teach you how to be successful in competitive debate. The next program that we are offering is our interpersonal communication, And this is really to get students so that they are involved in talking to adults. We want to teach our students how to have conversations. We have a program, for example, with the older students where they're learning how to do interview skills for colleges or for job interviews, and the younger students are learning conflict resolution. So it basically, and listening are some of the big skills. Is how to talk to other people, such an important skill in life. The other program that we're offering is the business communication program. And this program is just like you see on TV. It's our Shark Tank program. And the goal is to be able to, at the end of the week, be able to deliver a business presentation to investors, just like on the show, and have them invest in your company. So to get there, we have to have a business plan, and we have to be able to set up a business presentation that's persuasive. You need to have your elevator pitch down. You need to be able to have visual aids to show to the investors in the program. And so at the end of the week, you wind up delivering this, and you have to be able to answer questions. They'll stop you at any point and just ask you questions about the product, and they'll really try to rip it apart. So you have to be ready. You have to be able to think quick on your feet. So this is a wonderful program. The other program that we're offering, so you know, and what we're doing this week is legal communication, and this is just like mock trial. At the end of the week, the students do a virtual trial, and they play the role of an attorney. They do openings, they do closings, they cross-examine witnesses, they do directs, and we teach them how to do this. We teach them how to object to evidence, and they do a full trial at the end of the week. So this is going to be a really great program this week. The other program we're offering now is the STEM communication, and this has been really popular. The students love this program. We have so many students that are going into the sciences, and we all know that the job market nowadays, they're looking for people who are going into engineering and going into sciences and mathematics that can communicate. You can't just sit in a back room anymore and plug away. You have to be able to talk to customers, to middle management, and so we teach you how to take complex scientific or STEM principles and put them in manners that an audience can understand. And at the end of the week, you do a scientific presentation. So the next program is, well, these are the next steps, and we're really excited about the next steps in the program. I've gone through most of these already, but if you're taking 101 this week, and there's still spots left for the following week, you can jump into 201, then you go into 301, and then you can take 401, or after you take 101, you can split off, and we offer legal communications, interpersonal, business, and the big one is Debate League. We're launching that this week. It starts in the fall. It involves debate competitions every month. You get to be part of a team, you get a coach, and you get a different topic every time, and you compete against other people. We'll have hundreds of people. It's going to be nationwide, and all the debate tournaments are going to be virtual. So it doesn't matter where you are, you'll be able to take part in this debate league that'll go through the entire school year. So that kind of answers a lot of the questions for us right now. We are absolutely excited and thrilled for this week. I want to assure everyone that these are like our in-person camps that we run in 30 different cities. We haven't done it this week, but rest assured, we take this just as seriously. We give 150%, just like anything we do. And the end result has been, has been absolutely amazing. But you can lead a horse to water, but we can't make them drink. So students, you're going to get what you put into the program. So if you show up and you try and you work on your speeches and you work on your debates, it's what you put into it is what you're going to get out. So be ready to go on Monday. I think, Brian, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll join you, give me a moment. I'm going to let you start with the questions and answers. And if there's something for me, I will pop in. So you can please go right ahead and start.
Absolutely. And actually, if Felipe and Amelia would like to join us back on screen here, we've got some questions coming in that I think all of us will be able to answer for our families this evening. So actually, the first question is for you, Felipe. Regarding the technology, why can't a student use a tablet to join their classes each day?
Okay, in the past, you were able to use a tablet, but the application that we use for the students to join the webinar, unfortunately, they just launched an update, and all the tablets are like, before you could use an iPad, but now not even an iPad. Unfortunately, the only platform that you are able to use right now that works, when I say works, I mean camera, microphone, and you're able to see people, and the people in your class are able to see you. So if you try to join with a tablet, there's not going to be a camera compatibility. It's going to have issues. So I was dealing with some students today even, and that we're having the same problem. So that's the reason why you're not gonna have a good experience at all.
All right, thank you for that answer, Felipe. And we have a question here that I'm going to take the answer to. We had a family say that they've registered 2 students to start the program next week, and they want to know how they're going to receive their information. So tonight, after we finish the webinar, as I mentioned before, we're going to be sending out an email to all of our parents with your students' login information. So if you do have more than 1 student signed up for camp next week, that email will contain all of their sign-ins. If you have 2 students, it'll have both email addresses. 3, it'll have all 3. If you've signed 12 students up for camp next week, it'll have all 12 students in there. So we're always going to keep the communications regarding your family to one specific communication. That way we don't confuse anybody and send 2, 3, 4, 5 emails all with the same information, but one for each child. So keep on the lookout in your email addresses later this evening. You will be receiving all of your students' Capital Debate login information. And then one other thing that I wanted to address as well is the student assessment. If you have not completed the student assessment, please make sure that you're logging in to do so. And parents, when you log in to complete the student assessment, you're going to use your online account login that you set up when you created and registered your students. So it's not going to be your student's Capital Debate email address to access the assessments. It's always going to be your account email as well as the password that you would set up. And if for any reason you don't remember that email, you don't remember your password, let us know. We can always help you get those reset. All right, and Amelia, I actually have a good question here for you regarding the web cameras. Why is it important for students to be on camera for the whole day? I know we talked about that a little bit in your decorum slide. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that for us?
Yeah, we want to make sure that the online camp experience is as similar as possible to the real in-person camp experience. So they're still interacting with other classmates, with their instructors, with assistant instructors. So we want to make sure that they're on screen, they have that face time every single day, especially also for some programs like interpersonal communication or some of the public speaking programs, as a lot of interviews or even classes in the future will likely, at least in the short term, be online. We think that focusing on webinar skills and focusing on how do you talk persuasively to your laptop, because that's something that's kind of new to everyone. And how do you work that into an interview setting or a professional setting or even a class setting is something, we think that's something that's very important. So that's what we are trying to focus on, to give students those tools and to get them really comfortable in front of a laptop, even though it is quite different than speaking in front of an audience.
Thank you, Amelia. And for Ron, we have a question about the schedule. You know, we have our academy starting next week. Could you talk a little bit more about what the 2-week program looks like for the academy for the students, you know, where they start and what they progress into?
Great question. The Academy will start, week 1 is going to be just like Public Speaking and Debate 101. So the first week, you're going to learn presentation style. You're going to learn articulation, vocal variety. You're going to learn how to project your voice. You're going to learn how to use your voice. And then you're going to learn nonverbals like eye contact and hand gestures. And at the end, we're going to start looking at how to be persuasive and how to structure an argument. And then you're going to deliver a persuasive speech, which is going to launch you into week 2. And in week 2, you're going to start getting ready for a debate. And it will be probably on the topic that you did your persuasive speech on, the social media regulations. And in those debates, you're going to learn how to construct a case, how to anticipate what the other team is going to argue and be able to answer those arguments, how to give a powerful closing, how to cross-examine the other team, and how to answer questions. So, and at the end of that week, you'll wind up doing a full debate, and then you'll do a debate for parents, and that will be your 2 weeks. So public speaking and debate 101 week 1 and debate 201 week 2, and you will follow your same group of students in the academy from class to class together. So you all get to know each other and make a lot of friends.
All right. And Ron, actually, I have another question here for you regarding the teaching skills for public speaking through the program. Are we focusing on in-person communication skills, or how do we communicate via this new virtual platform?
For which class now, Brian? You said it again?
Just for all the classes. You know, when we teach these communication skills, are we teaching them as if we're teaching for in-person communication, as if they're talking face-to-face, or are we teaching it on how to communicate via this virtual setting?
Great question. We're doing a little bit of both. I mean, everything in our curriculum, obviously, we've been doing this for years, is geared towards how to be a polished speaker is a polished speaker is a polished speaker at the end of the day. And so that's our goal. Now, there are certain things that work in person, and we will talk about that, but there are certain things that work better online. You have to know how to do it. And we have to do that because I have to tell you, so many schools across the United States are going virtual, and they're going to have to give speeches, and they're going to have to give presentations. You know, I know all my kids are going back to school virtually in the fall, all the way through January 28th, and they're going to have to. So they have to know how to do that. It means that they have to know how to set up their camera. They need to know how to set up the lighting in the room and the sound in their room. All these things are essential. And I have to tell you, even when this passes, I'm doing a lot of reading and researching and education. It's not going to end. A lot of our programs are going to become computer led. Our educational system is moving towards mentor-driven. That means self-taught, and you have to be ready for it. But you also have to do live presentations too. So at the same time, a lot of these skills we're going to be using and talking about. So it'll be both, but very important to have an eye on how we're going to do how we do online presentations. It's the wave of the future.
Perfect. Thanks, Ron. And I know Felipe has been kind of answering a couple of these questions individually to the families, but we had a couple regarding, web cameras. And, Felipe, while you're answering some of these individual ones, I'm just going to make a blanket statement for all the students asking about web cameras. We do require students to have a web camera. So if you have a device that does not have a web camera, please make sure you have one and install it by Monday. The focus of this class is teaching students communication skills, interacting with others, working with the instructor. And it's very difficult, as Amelia said, to do so without being able to see and hear you. So if you do not have a camera, please make sure you get one by Monday. Joining class on Monday without a camera is not going to be to your benefit. All right, and actually here's a question for you, Amelia. What happens if we miss a class one day? Do we have it recorded? Can we contact the instructor? What options do we have available to us?
Yeah, that's a great question. Definitely let us know, send us an email, and let us know if you have another commitment or if you're going to be missing a class, so we can let your instructors know. And our instructors in the past have been really, really awesome in catching students up, in making sure that they have access to the slides, the material, sometimes the recordings for classes that students have missed, or they pull a student aside and make sure that they have all the information they missed for a class. So definitely let your instructors know, and they will work with you to make sure you're not missing anything important. That being said, try not to miss class, of course, but if you have something that is unmissable, we will definitely work with you to make sure you're still getting the most out of the classes that you're able to be in.
Perfect. Thanks, Amelia. And I know Felipe is answering a few more questions here, so I'm going to take just one more technology question here for him. We have a family asking how muting works. You know, if the students have control over just their microphone, if everybody's microphone, you know, yes, you do have control over your own microphone. Your instructor has control over everything. So they have control over your microphone, they have control over your web camera. You do just have control over your own. So please make sure that, you know, if you are muted, to unmute yourself. You know, if the instructor sends you a request to unmute, that you please unmute. We found a lot of students sometimes will say, oh, well, my microphone's not working, which is why they're just not hitting the accept mute or accept the unmute. You know, please make sure you do that. Felipe is very good at troubleshooting. So if you think your web camera or microphone's not working, or you're telling people your web camera and microphone's not working, but maybe it's not, Felipe will be able to show you how to get your web camera and microphone working. But yes, you do want to make sure that you are on unmute, but you do have control over your own mute and unmute for the class. All right, and Ron, for you, we have one more question about the Club Debate League. You know, what are we looking like format-wise? Are we doing public forum? Are we doing what we're learning in public speaking and debates? Can you talk a little bit more about that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. The Club League, which will start in September, will run just like our classes will run. We're going to use virtual. It will all be held online, and we're using a one-on-one style debate. We find that that's more conducive in the virtual world, so it's a little bit more work to prepare with someone. Although you'll be on a team, everyone will speak 3 times in a debate. Your opening will be 4 minutes. You'll have 3 minutes to answer the other team's arguments, and then you'll have a 2-minute closing. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing, and that's for 11 to 17-year-old students. The league in the fall will have one league is under 15, and then the other league is 17 and under. We'll have 2 divisions in there. We'll have beginner and experienced, so everyone will have a chance. But we're going to have a lot of fun. These are going to be every month. A lot of times we'll have sometimes that in a tournament, when there's time between debates, we'll have individual speaker contests. So the things that you learn in persuasion, you'll be able to get used to, be able to use again. So, but we're going to keep you really busy. And I say this all the time, and I'm going to repeat it again for the students out there. This is a great thing to be involved in, because right now, especially those students that are starting to think about college, colleges are now beginning to look away from the SAT scores and the ACTs. And I think this is going to be a continued trend. So what are they going to look at? They're going to look at the whole person. They're going to look at your extracurricular activities. And so having something like debate is going to really help you, but keep involved. You need to keep busy, because what they're going to say is, what did you do during this entire period when it was virtual and you had more free time? Did you do anything to advance yourself? Did you do anything to learn new skills? So whatever you do, I think debate's a great one, but you need to keep busy, because that's what colleges are going to look at. They're going to start looking at the other things you do. So get involved in the league, keep debating, keep learning. That's a really, I can't emphasize that enough. And one of the other things I'm going to close with on this question is, the wonderful thing about the debate league is that, it brings together all the subject areas you should be learning in school, because you're writing, like in English, you are researching, you are using critical thinking skills, which are used in math. You are learning about different topics, the economy, the environment, government. All these are classes that you are now going to stay ahead of your peers. So being involved in debate is going to be, it's an opportune time. So that's a little bit more about the Debate League.
Perfect. Thanks, Ron. I have a great question here for Amelia. For the showcase presentations on the last day, how do parents join that presentation, and can others outside of just parents, like aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa, can they join the presentation as well?
Definitely. Yeah, that's a really good question. We will be sending out an email next Wednesday night with all the information on how to join, but it's a very simple process where we will have a web page where you can go to register for a GoToMeeting. So exactly what you did to join tonight's presentation. The students have been joining them all week, so they'll be pros by that time. So if your student is speaking, they can definitely help you troubleshoot as well. So the links will all be sent out, and we encourage you to invite anyone. So family members, friends, anyone who's interested. It's not just restricted to parents being able to view the presentations.
Perfect. Thanks, Amelia. We had a question come in. I'm going to take this one regarding the schedule. We had a family that's asking about the, different blocks and different colors on the schedule. When do kids get to take a break? When's lunch? So I just wanted to go over that here for the families one more time. If you wanted to see what any of our sample schedules look like, first and foremost, on each of the program specific pages, so our virtual debate page, our STEM communication page, our legal communication page, just as an example, those will all have the schedules for the programs listed under the course information. So everybody will be able to see a larger view of the sample schedule on each of those pages. Now, what you're going to find on that schedule is going to be different color coordinated blocks. In the morning, we always start off the first half an hour with our morning announcements, leadership activities to get the students really going for the day, to get their energy up, to get them started, to get those, brains, into work and in action. So it's usually something fun that we do for the kids to get them started in the day. Then you'll start to see that we have these colored sections in the schedule. Those are all 1 hour lesson blocks that go over that specific lesson for the day. Students are going to stay in their classroom, the same link for each of these lessons. So you're not going to have to jump out and jump back in, jump out and jump back in. You're going to stay in the same GoToWebinar link that's sent to you. The only time that you're going to leave the classroom is if we're going to do breakout rooms. And breakout rooms are just when we divide the classes into smaller groups so the students can practice their presentations, do mini debates, go through topics with the instructor and the instructor assistant. So that's really the only time that the students are going to be jumping in and out. We also have a morning class and then an afternoon class. So when you have your lunch at 12, that class is going to end, and then when you come back at 1, you're going to have a new link to join for that. So it's very simple. Your instructors are going to keep you on schedule. You're going to see everything that you need in your email for this. But one of the other things that parents are asking too is about breaks. When do kids get to take a break? 9 to 5 is a very long day for them. And you'll see that we've really broken down the schedule after each of those 1 hour blocks with these skill set exercises. That's a great time for the kids to take a break. It's also a time if they have any questions to ask their instructor from the lesson, if they want to finish any work or materials from before to get prepared for the next class. So it really does break up the day for the students where they have 1 hour lessons and these half an hour skill sets in between to give them a break from the class. Don't log out of the meeting, but you can shut your web camera off, you can shut your microphone off, you can go use the bathroom, you can go fill up your glass of water, go step outside and get some fresh air. So we really took the students, focus and their own, mental health into consideration when we developed this schedule. So we have plenty of breaks for the kids built in throughout the day. All right, and Ron, we actually have a topic or a question for you about the debate topic. Are the students going to be using the same topic throughout all 4 of the debate courses? And what would that debate topic be?
Well, the topic's going to be government regulations on social media companies does more good than harm. The you could write a persuasive speech on that in the first level class, or you could do another topic. You'll get one debate in that topic, one or two, and then one in front of the parents for the second class. If you do take the third class, then you just go deeper into the topic. So you will use it, but you don't want to start. The goal in 301 and 401 is to get 8, 9 debates in. So you can't do that if we start with a whole brand new topic, unless you're doing impromptu topics. So that's why we stay with the whole topic, so that you come in ready to go and you're ready to debate, by day 2. Now, during the debate league, every single debate tournament every month will have a different debate topic. It'll be announced 4 weeks in advance.
All right, perfect. And it seems that we have a couple questions regarding the clarification of what I was talking about where the schedules are located on the website. So I just want to reiterate that one more time here for our families. If you go to our website, capitaldebate.com, and then under our camp programs page, you'll find all of our virtual camps listed: debate, public speaking, legal communication, business, interpersonal, STEM, and then our 2 public forum programs. If you click on one of those links, so let's say you're doing public speaking and debate 101, you'll click on the debate camps link, and then you'll scroll down to see the sample schedules listed as clickable links. The schedules aren't on the page itself. You do have to click a link to take you to that sample schedule. So again, it's on all of those program specific pages, not just the main page. So just make sure if you're taking STEM, you click on the STEM page. If you're doing business, click on the business page. If you're doing debate, click on the debate page. And I know we want to be conscious of everybody's time here this evening. We've gone past our 1 hour block that we normally do here, but we have just a few more last questions that we want to make sure we get answered before we finish up here for the evening. Let's see here. Ron, for the progression of the program, we talked about the club league. Do students need to just take public speaking and debate 101? Do they just need to take debate 201 after completing public speaking and debate 101? What's the requirement for joining right into the club league next year for our virtual classes?
We like the students to be able to take public speaking debate 101 and debate 201. That's typically the prerequisite to getting involved in the debate. Here's a few things that's going to be unique. If you do public speaking in debate 101, but you don't get a chance to do debate 201, just know that we're going to be offering 201 in the fall. So what I'd recommend maybe is that you take that, and then you can jump into the league. If you have some debate experience already, you can kind of jump in there. But our high preference is that you take public speaking and debate 101 and debate 201. You take the 2-week academy before going in the league. But, like I said, we can work with you. Some students have taken public speaking and debate 101, but they want to go right in the league. And so they get in touch with Brian, and they sign up for 5 hours of tutoring, and we get you all set up for the debate league. So there's a lot of different ways. We'll work with you. We'll customize a nice package so that you're successful this year and that you can do the things that you want to do.
All right, and let's see here. Guys, I think that was our last question here for the evening. So it looks like, actually, I'm so sorry, one more. How many students on average are in each of the classes? What's our typical class size?
6. I mean, the average is about, it could go anywhere from 8 to 1 to 12. I mean, 8 students to 2 teachers, up to 12 students in that class. But they typically been about 8, on average about 8 students for 2 instructors, 4-to-1 ratio.
All right, perfect. And that is it for this evening. Looks like we are out of questions.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. That's been a lot of fun. Well, thank you. We can't wait to see all the students on Monday, but we want to see you tomorrow. This is really, really, really important that you check your email this evening. You are going to have an email with an invitation to the technology trial. It's going to run from 12 Eastern Standard Time to 3. Please, if you want to be successful, I find this every week. I ask the question, someone can't get on, and I go, all right, Felipe, let me ask you a question. I know the answer, but let me ask you anyway. Felipe, did they go to the tech trial? No. Did they go to the orientation? No. And
Yeah. Yes.
all it takes is 5 minutes and we will get you set up. So do that. Set up your Gmail account with we're going to send that out tonight, right, Amelia? Right after here, Amelia and Brian, you're going to get your email this evening. Go in there, go into your Google account, set up your add your Gmail account, add a Gmail account, which we're going to send you. Go check it. You'll have your invite to your tech trial. And Saturday, Amelia will have your invite to your Google Classroom, and by Sunday you'll have your invite to Monday morning, which we're all excited about. So we're here. If you have any questions, we're going to answer them, and we're going to really get ready for having an amazing week. This is not like school. This is not like you're going to sit and you're going to be bored. I mean, students, watch some of our videos that are on our gallery. Kids are having a great time. This is a lot of fun. So get ready. And if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to say good evening, and we will see you tomorrow at the technology trial.
Yep.
Right,
Please.
Felipe?
Yes. Tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
See everyone.
Good
Have
one.
a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.